The neon sign of the Honeymoon Oasis Motel flickered erratically through the torrential downpour, casting jagged, blood-red shadows across the walls of room 114. Inside, a tragic romance was about to meet its brutal, calculated end. Grace and Julian Vance were supposed to be celebrating the first week of their forever, wrapped in the blissful glow of newlyweds. But behind Julian's charming smile and attentive gaze lay a dark, desperate, and rotting secret. He was drowning in an inescapable mountain of gambling debt, and in his mind, his beautiful new wife was worth far more dead than alive. Just days before the wedding, he had secretly taken out $1 million life insurance policy on her, with himself named as the sole beneficiary. As the thunder rattled the window panes and the storm peaked, Julian put his sinister plan into motion. He stepped out into the freezing rain, under the mundane guise of grabbing a bucket of ice from the vending machine. But as he closed the door behind him, he deliberately left the latch unclicked, leaving the door subtly ajar for a predatory shadow waiting in the darkness of the parking lot. This shadow belonged to Marcus the Ghost Miller, a cold-blooded professional hitman hired to do the horrific dirty work. Marcus slipped inside the room like a specter, his gloved hands silencing Grace's sudden gasp of terror. Before a brief, desperate, and violent struggle ensued, leaving her lifeless on the pristine white sheets. When Julian returned a calculated 20 minutes later, he dropped the ice bucket, letting the cubes scatter across the floor as he feigned utter horror. He screamed for the motel manager, wept hysterically, and put on the performance of a lifetime, believing he had just executed the perfect, unpunishable crime. This set off a complex, agonizing, and highly psychological game of cat and mouse. Enter Detective Elena Cruz, a sharp-witted, cynical homicide investigator who had spent years staring into the eyes of killers and refused to take anything at face value. Arriving at the chaotic, blood-chilling scene, Cruz immediately noticed subtle anomalies that the first responding officers completely missed. There was an absolute lack of forced entry, meaning Grace had either let her killer in or the door had been left open. The couple's luggage was strangely undisturbed, ruling out a robbery gone wrong. Most importantly, Cruz discovered a faint, partial muddy footprint near the nightstand that didn't match the tread of Julian's expensive shoes or the motel staff's boots. While Julian wept for the local news cameras, playing the part of the shattered, grieving widower to perfection, Cruz quietly began digging deep into the couple's history, determined to find the truth hidden beneath the grief. What followed was a grueling, agonizingly long investigation that stretched into months of frustrating dead ends, ironclad alibis, and exhausting bureaucratic red tape. The killer had been a professional. Marcus left no DNA, no fingerprints, and no weapon behind, leaving the forensics team entirely empty-handed. The case grew cold in the eyes of the public, and Julian even began to openly celebrate his impending insurance payout, believing he was completely in the clear. But Detective Cruz refused to give up, pushing her team to their absolute limits as she worked late into the midnight hours. She shifted her focus from the physical crime scene to the digital world, meticulously combing through months of encrypted financial records, deleted emails, and cell tower pings. The agonizingly awaited breakthrough finally came when Cruz uncovered a series of untraceable, structured cash withdrawals from Julian's offshore accounts that coincided perfectly with the days leading up to the murder. Following this financial breadcrumb trail down a dark rabbit hole, Cruz's cyber unit managed to clone the data from a burner phone active near the motel on that fateful night. On it, they found a single, damning text message received just 3 minutes before Grace's estimated time of death. The message came from a spoofed number, but its digital signature traced directly back to Julian's personal device, reading a chillingly simple phrase: "The door is open." The burner phone itself was tied to a geolocation that placed it right in the lap of Marcus the Ghost Miller.
Armed with this irrefutable mountain of digital proof, Cruz didn't just issue a warrant. She orchestrated a high-stakes, synchronized police raid in the dead of night.
Tactical teams swarmed both Julian's luxury apartment and Marcus's hideout simultaneously, shattering Julian's carefully constructed illusion of safety. Dragged into a cold, sterile interrogation room, Julian sat face-to-face with Detective Cruz. As she laid out the timeline, the bank records, and the text messages onto the steel table, the arrogant mask finally fell away from the husband's face, replaced by pale, paralyzing terror. Both the deceptive husband and his hired executioner were brought down in one swift stroke of justice, proving to the world that while love might be blind, the law sees through the deepest, darkest of storms.